My name is Mary Jo Franchi Rothecker. I'm a mediator, parenting coordinator, and a member of the reintegration team at Ascendus Group. I took training with Dr. Barbara Landau in Toronto and with Dr. Barbara Fidler, and of course my training with Greg. I spent many hours with Greg in the therapy room learning how to deal with people and how to communicate more effectively with them. Putting families into court or into an acrimonious legal battle doesn't work, and especially it does not work for children. And that was the biggest motivator for me in doing this work. That is mediation, parenting coordination, and reintegration. Reintegration occurs when there has been a resist-refuse dynamic in the family. That is, it's been noted that either because of a separation or divorce, or it could be because a parent has been in military service or incarcerated, there is some rejection of one of the parents, a refusal by the child to see that parent. So we work on a sort of intake or triage basis. We work as a team, as a collective, to assess, investigate and assess where that family's at right now and how can we help them. And most of all, how can we help the children? Because if you can act fairly quickly in these cases and comprehensively, you can certainly save the children from unnecessary damage. Children do suffer an event in the case of separation and divorce. It's not a good thing in their lives, but the damage can be minimized, and that is our goal, is to do that. The type of families that we usually work with, in mediation, generally it's people calling us from a referral, either from a lawyer or someone else that we've mediated with, and we work directly with the two parents. We very often don't see the children in that case unless there's an issue, and what I mean by an issue is unless there are signs that there might be a resist-refuse dynamic developing. In parenting coordination, we will get the referral from court, sometimes from lawyers. Very rarely do the parents contact us directly in that case. And parenting coordination is very much focused on the children, because what is developed for this couple, whether because they've been in court and some acrimony has deepened, their children are seeing that conflict and reacting to it. So we try to work with the parents to help them, educate them on how to better communicate and more effectively parent their children. Our involvement with parents in that case is a minimum of 6 months, often a year. It takes some time to understand, to investigate what is exactly going on, how serious is the problem, is there a personality disorder, is there a substance abuse problem. We have to look at the entire family dynamic. And then we determine how can we go forward? And parenting coordinators have the authority to make a decision just as a judge would in court. So a parenting coordinator can make a decision for the parents when they can't make a decision together, and that is binding. That is like a court order. So that's a very effective, relatively new process across Canada. The third service that we provide is the work we do as a collective, as a team for reject-refuse dynamic. Again, this is a relatively new area, although some of the terminology, such as parental alienation, has been around for over a decade. But resist-refuse is a situation that develops very often in cases of separation and divorce, where the child or children refuse to see one of the parents. It requires a quick response from the collective. And what I mean by that is we have to step in as quickly as we can, review all of the court documents, review any psych ed assessments, review any sections, what they call a Section 30 assessment, a custody assessment. In other words, look at everything about this family that's gone on. What also motivates me is that when we are able to help a family connect and to be able to function and go forward, whether it's through mediation, parenting coordination, or the reintegration work, to see a family walk away from a SENDIS group and be able to function better than they were functioning before, with less conflict, less stress, is very, very rewarding and encouraging. When I was a lawyer, and I went to court, I practiced family law for a long time, very litigious, I started to realize towards the end that something was very wrong. There was something wrong with feeling like you won in court, but driving back to the office and realizing that nobody won. It just cost a fortune for some parent to be able to have access to their own child. That's just not right. And when I was able to move away from that and realize that we could use our professional expertise to help families stay away from that acrimonious battle, that became a very, very good thing. Families spend a minimum of $50,000 each going to court to fight. Now, many families in Ontario, of course, are moving away from that. They're learning about the alternate dispute resolution techniques that we have. But some are still getting caught in that battle. It's very costly, not just financially, it's costly emotionally. But here's the most critical point. It hurts the children. Nobody is looking at the children. Now, our Divorce Act has just been amended in Canada after 34 years. Hasn't been changed in those 34 years. And it's been amended. One of the main amendments is called the voice of the child. And it's to take into consideration in a divorce and separation what is going on with those children. How can we hear them? Not give them the power to make a decision, but how can we hear them and use that information effectively to help this family through the transition of separation and divorce to parenting as two parents living separate and apart.